Good morning, class. I welcome you all back to class. And I think I like your engagement and the way you are comporting yourself with this e-learning. Today, we are going to look at a very interesting topic. But before that, let us do a quick recap. At our last lesson, we looked at ways of conserving water in the home, school, and community. And we simply said that water conservation is the wise use of water, how water should be used wisely in order to avoid wastage. In order to avoid wastage. We also look at ways of purifying water. Ways of purifying water. And we look at sedimentation, boiling, filtration. We also look at decantation. All this, and I asked you to write short notes under some of them. It is very important. Sometimes you have to read ahead. You have to read more on these topics for you to have in-depth knowledge about them. Very important. See, as you are home, you have to do a lot of work. You have to do a lot of reading to be able to be informed about some of these topics. Very, very important. So I explained sedimentation. Boiling is straightforward. You can write short notes under it. Filtration is also very simple, which you have heard several times. And decantation, I also discussed a little about it. The notes are there for you to go and watch and listen so that you can prepare short notes under them. We also look at some qualities of water, qualities good water should have. We say good water should not have taste, it should be tasteless, it shouldn't have particles in them, it shouldn't have germs in them, it shouldn't smell, it should be colorless. So these are some of the qualities that good drinking water should have. If someone fetch water for you to drink and you look into the water and you realize that the color of the water is somehow brown, I'm scared. I'm not sure you'll be able to drink that water. So we look at ways of conserving water at home, school, and then in the community. We also discuss about some of the ways of conserving water, and we mention a tall list of them. Now, before leaving you, I asked you to write a short note under do's and don'ts in order to conserve water at home. What are some of the do's and don'ts? Some of the things you have to do with water, and then the things you are not to do with water at home. A few people sent their work to me. That was awesome. I appreciate it so much. So I am going to discuss a little on that before we look at today's topic, demonstrating that air supports burning. So let's jump in. Ways of using water wisely and efficiently in the home and in the community. It is important for us to conserve treated water supplied to our homes and communities. So why do you think it is important to conserve treated water supplied to our homes? Good. So treated water is quite expensive. Now, some of us, our homes are connected with pipe-borne water. And this pipe-borne water, you have to pay bills on them every month. And then some of us too, water tankers have to supply water to our homes. So you see, when we don't conserve this water, if we don't use the water wisely enough, you realize that we will spend a lot of money buying water every time. So this lesson is very important for us all to know how to use water wisely at home. So these are the reasons why some of us we have um, hand dug well or perhaps borehole in our homes, and these boreholes are pumped into polytanks and then which serves the house. Okay, that is good. However, if we don't use water wisely, we don't use it wisely, you realize that every 3 days or even less, you have to pump the water from the borehole into the polytank. And this is also electricity. You have to pay a lot for pumping the water. So this lesson is very important to everyone. Maybe you go and fetch water from your neighbor's house, you go and buy. So you have to learn ways of conserving water, using water wisely so that you will not, you don't have to go and be buying water every now and then. So it is important. Please let's pay attention to this. Water conservation simply means to use water wisely in order to avoid wastage. So by the end of this lesson, you should have a change of ways. The way you use water at home must change. And I will actually monitor to see if that is happening in your homes. Now, below are do's and don'ts in order to conserve water at home. One, do not leave taps running when they are not in use. This is very important. If you are not using the water, you are not fetching water from the tap must remain closed. Sometimes, some taps will leak, okay, leaking taps. So when you realize that the tap is leaking, you are not fetching water from the tap, and then you realize that water is actually leaking from the tap, you quickly have to inform your parents so that they will call the technicians or whoever is in charge to take care of it. So people such as plumbers work on leaking taps. So they'll come and either change the tap or work on it so that the leaking can stop to conserve water. Two, wash your clothes in bulk and not in bits. So you are not to wash your socks today, tomorrow you wash your underwear, the next day you are going to wash your dress. No, you can't wash like that. You'll be using a lot of water. So you can gather all these things and then one Friday or Saturday morning you wash all together. So by doing this, you conserve water. Four or three, sorry. Do not leave the tap running while brushing your teeth and washing your face. This is a very important point. So when you get to the sink and then you open the sink tap and you are there washing, brushing your teeth, and the tap, you realize that the water is flowing from the tap entering the sink, you are wasting water. Immediately you start brushing, the tap have to close. When you finish brushing, you open it, rinse your mouth, rinse your brush, and you are good to go. The fourth point, do not wash cooking utensils directly under running water. You have to fetch water in a big bowl and wash all the utensils inside. This is also a very good point. So when you get to the sink, some people will open the tap on the sink, and then once the water is flowing, they'll be washing the plates, which is not right. Fetch the water into a big bowl, wash. After that, you can throw the dirty water away, get another water again, and then you use it to rinse the utensils. These things are very important and you have to take notice of them. And I want to see a change. Some people will read this and listen to this and still be doing their old ways, doing their old things. So after washing, they will open the tap and then they will be using it to rinse it as the water is flowing directly from the tap. That is not what you have to do. You are wasting water. So take notice of that. Point five, when you see a broken pipeline or a tap in the community, you must immediately inform your parents. Your parents will inform the right people to get it fixed. So sometimes pipelines that bring water to our homes get damaged or get broken. So when you see something like that and you realize that the water is spilling from the pipe, you have to quickly inform your parents so that your parents will also inform the right authorities to get it fixed immediately so that we can avoid wastage of water both at home and in the community. So now we are going to today's lesson. This lesson demonstrating that air supports burning. Keywords: air, burning, oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen. Let's take the keywords again: air, burning, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and nitrogen. What is the composition of air? Composition of air. All living things breathe in air to stay alive. Though we cannot touch air and cannot see it with our naked eyes, we can feel it around us. Air, we said, is a mixture of gases. The major components of air are nitrogen, which has 78%, and then oxygen, which has 21%. Some other components include carbon dioxide, which has 0.03%, and then 1% of rare gases. And these rare gases are argon, helium, and neon. Air also contains water vapor and dust particles. Air can be used for many things. Can you mention some of the uses of air? You have 1 minute. Think about some of the things we use air for. 1 minute. Try and mention some of them. Good. So some uses of air includes: 1. We use air to cool our body when we feel hot. So it is very uncomfortable when we are feeling hot, but when air comes in, we begin to be stable. So air is very important to keep us cool. Point 2, air helps us to fly our kite. Yes, how many of you have flown kite before? So if air is not in existence or air is not blowing, it is difficult for your kite to fly in the air. Point 3, we use air to separate grains from their chaff through a process known as winnowing. Good. So in the farm, grains such as rice have chaffs around them. So we use air to actually separate these grains from their chaff, and the process known as winnowing. Sometimes strong wind is blown on it so that the chaff can be separated from the grain. Or as you carry the grains and the chaff and you pour, you realize that the wind will be blowing to take away the chaff from the grains itself. So air also helps in doing that. Point 4, we pump air into our car tires, bicycle tires, and etc. So if there's no air if there's no air in car tires or bicycle tires, it will be difficult moving. Air helps birds and insects to fly. Air. So the air helps these birds and insects to be able to be stable in the air, in the atmosphere, and then helps them to actually fly. Air helps airplanes and helicopters to fly. Air in life jackets and balloons help people to float on water. So life jackets have air in them. Balloons also have air in them. When you go to the pool, you realize that some people have these balloons and then they will actually be on top of them, which helps them to float on top of the water. They don't sink into the water. Life jackets as well. If you have life jackets contain air, which help people to float on water. And the next point, air helps our wet clothes to dry when we hang them. Very important. As the air blows on our wet clothes, they get dry. Air supports burning. This is what we are going to look at today. Air supports burning. Why do you think air supports burning? All right, so this question is quite important, and we have to do a quick activity to illustrate that air supports burning. Now, the materials we need for this are two candles and Please take notice of this. I would like you to do this experiment at home. Put up the settings, do the experiment, take a short video at least, or take pictures for me to see that you have actually done it, and then you send it to my WhatsApp handle. These are the materials we need: 2 candles, a transparent glass, any transparent container will be all right, a table, a box of matches, and a plate. These are the steps to follow. 1. Light the 2 candles. 2. Fix the 2 candles on 2 different plates and place them on a table. So get a plate and then you fix the 2 candles on them. Make sure the setup is not disturbed by a strong wind. So you can actually do this in your room, okay, or in the living room. Make sure the fan is off so that it will not disturb the burning. And make sure the setup is not disturbed by a strong wind. That's correct. 4. Allow the candles to burn for some time. So after lighting the candles, make sure the candles are positioned on the plate well. And then the 5th point is now gently cover one of the burning candle with a transparent bottle or container and leave the second candle uncovered. So cover one candle and then leave the other uncovered. For some time, you observe something. Now, I would like you to write down your observation, what you have observed, in a very short note and send to me. Thank you. I'll leave you here. I wish you all the best. Bye for now.